This is indeed a sad day for Channel 8. We've been number one in this town for the past 10 years, and now our sponsors are pulling their accounts. We're losing valuable advertising revenue. We're losing credibility in the market. And why? Because of some fly-by-night UHF station! A UHF station! This is an embarrassment, a disgrace!
When the media and the government work hand in hand to try and lie to you and tell you that a bill doesn't do what it does, and that people in the non-corporate media are spouting off conspiracy theories. When we have this team up together, you know you're not living in a free society. Today on Defending It Utah television, I am Ben McClintock from defendingitutah.org. Make sure you don't miss another program by clicking on that subscribe button, clicking on that bell, and please share and let other people know about this channel. Also, if you want to be a part of the solution, make sure you go to defendingitutah.org and click on the join tab and become a member today. Support this channel, support our efforts, and receive all the benefits of membership. Now, most of you, or many of you, have watched our previous videos on this new bill, HB 16, that's come out this year. That has been, Dr. Bradley's talked about it. I've talked about it. So we've covered it in this several different programs, and it's caused a lot of furor. They've been forced to change the language of the bill because of the coverage and the response that you guys did. You making sure that you're contacting your elected officials, letting them know how you feel about the legislation. And so they did not like this sort of influence being felt by you. And how dare this UHF station, the small Defending Utah, have as much as or more influence than the approved media and the legislature? How dare we have any sort of influence on people to help you know what the language of bills are? They just can't handle that. And so they got together, and the media and the legislature got together, and they teamed up to make sure that they didn't give us any real free advertising. They don't want to put us in the headline. They just kind of hide us in a paragraph, but they're really scared of what's going on. We had this bill from this article from the Salt Lake Tribune, and then KSL and Deseret News just posted the same exact article as each other, where they, no, this Utah bill is not a UN ploy. Well, we never claimed it was a UN ploy. We never said anything about the United Nations. They just use gaslighting and straw man tactics to get you to not believe what the legislation actually says. They're out there backing the legislature by using these logical fallacies to not address the actual issue, not address the actual language of the legislation. And so we have here, this is the Tribune. I want to go into some of the things of how they do this, right? They call these things responses bizarre, not enough tinfoil out there to be able to cover all the conspiracy theories. Reading a bill is a conspiracy theory. Well, no, it's a fact. You're hoping that it's in secret, so you're hoping to keep it a conspiracy. But we've been able to expose this. It's not a theory. We've just read the bills. But what they did in the committee, when they were forced to listen to their constituents a little bit, needs to be fixed some more. It's not actually, that much different than what it was before. But in the committee, you have fellow Buckshot member Todd Weiler, who called, just search on our channel for Buckshot. It'll open your mind you open your eyes if you haven't seen those videos already. But in the committee, he says, is your bill a ruse? To allow the government to create an imaginary emergency so that law enforcement can engage in unlawful searches and seizures, force vaccinations on people, put them in internment camps, separate families, and confiscate property? And of course, Dunnigan says no. They're making a joke about it. But then we have Weiler also asks, he says, does the bill serve any other purpose? This is kind of maybe a Freudian slip, maybe an admission of what they're actually doing. But he says, does this bill serve any other purpose than encouraging tyranny and abuses of power while demanding the complete subjugation of those underneath it? To which Dunnigan said no. So he's saying there's no other purpose than encouraging tyranny and abusing power. I'm going to hope that was just a mistake, and that he actually meant there are other purposes to the bill. Of course, Dan McKay, another Buckshot member, says, has the UN been involved in helping draft this bill? Ha ha ha. Very funny. You're so hilarious. So, and then Brian Schlott says the Libertarian, I don't know where he gets that from, Defending Utah group, which has trafficked in all sorts of conspiracy theories for several years, produced a video that detailed many of the unfounded worries about HB 16. The video and follow-up were posted under the headline that breathlessly asked, did the House just vote to send troops to your neighborhood? If it's any solace, lawmakers have so far been immune to the conspiracy onslaught. So that's the Tribune just goes in there and tries to make fun of it and works with the legislature, promotes the legislature's line on this, making sure that the party line is being followed on this. And then we have KSL and the Deseret News using the same dismissive tactic of saying, is it a UN? No, this bill is not a UN employee. So they're defending it. They're saying no. And then they use this straw man to say it's not a UN employee, as if some people said that it was a UN employee. We're the only ones that have covered this bill. We never mentioned this was the United Nations engaged in this. And so, of course, they are trying to make fun of, back up the legislature, toe the party line, and to get the people to dismiss any type of exposure to legislation. So, what this bill doesn't do, some constituents have latched on to language of the original version of the bill. They incorrectly believe, of course, incorrectly, because, people don't know how to read. It would allow the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to mobilize the National Guard. Okay. Read the bill. Many of these fears seem to stem from a YouTube video posted last week by Ben McClintock, co-founder of Defending Utah, a local organization that has previously called the COVID-19 pandemic fake and cast doubt on the effectiveness and safety of coronavirus vaccines. Oh my goodness. We've cast doubt on it. We've called it fake, even though it's, by definition, it's fake. It's not real, but that's, neither here nor there. And so then they get in to try and debunk these ideas instead of debunking what the language actually says. In the video, McClintock incorrectly speculated. How can you incorrectly speculate? They're towing the party line. Give random citizens like Angela Dunn, the head of Salt Lake County Health Department, the ability to call up emergency response teams, and that such teams could send unvaccinated individuals to concentration camps. Ben McClintock said he was just asking a lot of questions, which is what I was doing, and encouraged viewers to write or call their legislators, which they apparently did. Good job. Heaven forbid, I encourage you to read the bill and contact your legislators. Urban search and rescue being organized by DHS sounds like a military operation against us. This is an email that people got. And so they go on to how to combat misinformation. Now, this is the most important part. If you didn't know, Defending Utah is very dangerous, according to KSL, Deseret News, and a University of Utah professor. Okay, we're dangerous. You shouldn't listen to us. Make sure and unsubscribe and tell all your friends that we're dangerous, because we're going to cause the downfall of civilization, not the legislature working against us. So Jim Tabbery, professor of philosophy at the University of Utah, talked about responding to misinformation, and he says you sort of have to hear people out. Heaven forbid you hear people out, even if you think it's coming from a spot that's not really supported. In fact, you just have to listen to them, because then they're going to get mad if they think that you're ignoring them. Help them reason through the actual situation. He also said it helps to take the term conspiracy theory off the table, because it's already such a loaded, stigmatized term. Nobody out there identifies as a conspiracy theorist. People identify as a fact finder, as somebody who does their own research. So unfortunately, they didn't listen to that. The problem is most people need to rely on experts, Tabbery said, because they don't have the expertise or time to actually conduct meaningful analysis. So, you can't possibly figure this out on your own. You need somebody else to tell you what's going on, is what they're saying. You can't read language in bills. You can't read legislation. You need to listen to the legislature. We all go through our lives relying on experts in some way. If your cat isn't eating, you take your cat to the vet. If your car isn't starting, you take your car to the mechanic. You're not just going to do your own research. Yeah, heaven forbid you go watch a YouTube video on how to change your own oil. on how to change your brakes. That could never happen. You can't use YouTube to learn how to change your brakes. All kinds of, you talk to mechanics, they'll tell you that they've actually looked at YouTube videos to learn how to do certain repairs. We can't do research and figure out what's wrong with your car. Heaven forbid. No, that's impossible. They've been around for years, he says. Traffic regularly. Donald, then he goes on to link this with Trump. Here we go. Right here is the thing that talks about if you actually look at what the government's doing and you see that they are not in it for your best interest, that they are growing government and taking away freedom, then you're dangerous. He says we need trust. We need to trust our leaders. We need to trust scientific and medical experts. We need trust in our neighbors, as if you don't trust the fake scientists, government scientists, if you don't trust the government medical experts, if you don't trust our elected leaders, then it's the same thing as not trusting our neighbors. Of course, they have to do these false equivalencies. Trust is the glue that keeps society together. If that erodes, I think it does present a real threat to the communities that we share. Okay, if all of a sudden you don't trust your elected officials, that they're actually doing what they say, and you actually start reading the legislation and it doesn't do what they say it's going to do, you're the danger to society, not the legislators, not these fake medical establishment people. Your legislators are the person researching things on your own. You're the danger to society. You're the danger to our community. How dare you do your own research? How dare you read legislation? You are dangerous, and you need to stop it right now, according to these experts that we're supposed to listen to, because we can't do our own research. So it's just wanted to do this public service, this warning to you not to listen to us because we are dangerous. And we're just going out there and we're trying to just spread misinformation because we can't possibly know how to read plain English. So with that, we encourage you that if you'd like to ignore what I've just said and still continue to watch our programs, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that bell to get notified, and become part of the solution to expose the lies in government and in media, to help support this channel by going to defendingutah.org, clicking on that join button, and becoming a member today. I'm Ben McClintock from defendingutah.org, and I'll see you next time.
And now, a special report from the owner and general manager of Channel 8, R.J. Fletcher.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I come before you tonight to speak on a matter which is of grave concern to us all. I want to show you how one small television station can single-handedly disrupt and destroy the moral fiber of an entire community. The following may upset you, it may even shock you. But I feel it is my duty as a concerned citizen to bring you this important message. This community means about as much to me as a festering bowl of dog snot. You think I care about the pea-brained yokels of this town? If you took their combined IQ and multiplied it by 100, you might have enough intelligence to tie your shoe. If you didn't drool all over yourself first. I can't stand those sniveling maggots. They make me want to puke. But there is one good thing about broadcasting to a town full of mindless sheep. I always know I've got them exactly where I want them.